Before he became a world-renowned actor and civil rights icon, Paul Robeson was a boy born into extraordinary circumstances. His father, William Drew Robeson, was a man who escaped slavery through the Underground Railroad and became a minister. His mother, Maria Louisa Bastille, came from a family of abolitionists. From these roots of courage and resilience, Paul's remarkable journey began. Let's take a closer look at the early years that shaped Paul Robeson's extraordinary life. He was the youngest of 5 children in a close-knit family. However, tragedy struck early in Paul's life. When he was just 6 years old, his mother died in a house fire, a loss that left a lasting impact on him. Despite this early grief, he excelled at Somerville High School in New Jersey, where his academic brilliance began to shine. But his journey was far from easy. As one of the few black students, he endured relentless racial taunts and discrimination. One pivotal relationship during these formative years was with Fritz Pollard, a pioneering black football player and coach. Pollard became a mentor and inspiration for Paul, showing him the power of resilience and excellence in breaking racial barriers. This connection strengthened Robeson's determination to overcome obstacles and achieve greatness in both academics and athletics.
In 1915, he became only the 3rd black student admitted to the prestigious institution at Rutgers College. Despite fierce racial discrimination, Paul's talent and determination quickly made him a standout on campus. He joined the Rutgers Scarlet Knights football team, where his strength and skill earned him a spot as one of the best players in the country. However, success did not come without struggle. Rival teams often refused to play against Rutgers because of his presence, and he faced brutal treatment from opponents and even teammates on the field. Balancing his athletic pursuits with his academic brilliance, Robeson continued to excel. He was not just a star on the football field but also a scholar. To support himself during college, he sang in public venues, captivating audiences with his powerful baritone voice, a talent that would later define his career.
Calling for freedom, they're calling for freedom, and the forests are filled with the whispering sigh of their song, to the heart of the wanderer.
Ain't there any more of that song? You keep on singing the same little bit.
Don't know anymore.
Well, it sounds like him to me. Where'd you hear it?
Don't remember. It's been in the back of my head since I was a little fella.
Was you ever a little fella?
In 1918, as Paul was preparing to graduate from Rutgers, his father passed away due to illness. The death left Paul devastated but also deeply motivated to honor his father's legacy of resilience. After graduating as valedictorian in 1919, Robeson enrolled at Columbia Law School. It was during this time that he met Islander Essie Good, a chemistry student working at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Essie would become his wife and closest partner in life, supporting his multifaceted career. While studying law, Robeson briefly played professional football for the Akron Pros, becoming one of the first black players in the NFL. At Akron, he met Lawrence Benjamin Brown, a pianist who would become a key collaborator in his musical journey. Yet, Robeson soon realized the limitations of professional sports and the law for a black man in America. Disenchanted with the systemic racism in both fields, he decided to pursue a new path, one where his voice, both literal and metaphorical, could be a powerful tool for change. With unwavering support from his wife, Islander Essie Good, who provided financial backing, Robeson began to pursue his passion for performance. He made his mark in New York City's theater scene, captivating audiences with his powerful presence and rich baritone voice. His breakthrough came in 1924 with The Emperor Jones, where he portrayed a complex, commanding lead character, breaking away from the demeaning roles traditionally offered to black actors. The performance was met with critical acclaim and opened the door to more significant opportunities. However, Robeson soon grew disillusioned with the limited opportunities for black performers in the United States. Seeking greater artistic freedom, he and Essie moved to England in 1928, where his career truly flourished. In London, Robeson delivered iconic performances that redefined black artistry. His portrayal of Othello remains one of the most celebrated in the history of Shakespearean theatre, and his rendition of Old Man River in Showboat became legendary. Robeson transformed the song from a lament to a powerful expression of resilience and hope, challenging racial stereotypes and reshaping perceptions of black talent on the global stage. As well as the theatres of London's West End, Paul Robeson developed a profound affinity with Wales and its people, calling it his favourite place in the UK. His connection with the Welsh miners began in the 1920s and deepened throughout his life. Robeson was drawn to their shared struggles for workers' rights and social justice. He admired their resilience and solidarity in the face of economic hardship, finding parallels with the plight of African Americans. His visits to Welsh mining towns were filled with warmth and camaraderie, and he often performed at workers' gatherings and cultural festivals. His rendition of traditional Welsh songs, such as We'll Keep a Welcome, became beloved, symbolising a mutual bond of respect and shared humanity. Robeson's relationship with Wales reflected his belief in global unity among oppressed peoples and reinforced his commitment to using art as a tool for social change.
Paul Robeson's extraordinary talent as an artist was matched by his fierce dedication to social and political causes. His passion for justice first came into sharp focus during his early film career, where he faced the complex challenge of balancing visibility with dignity. His role in Emperor Jones earned acclaim, but his participation in Sanders of the River, where he played Bosambo, left him filled with regret. The film, which reinforced colonial stereotypes, drew criticism, including from Nigerian leaders. Robeson publicly expressed his disappointment, vowing to choose roles that aligned with his values and respect for black identity. When the Spanish Civil War broke out in 1936, Paul Robeson was one of the most prominent international figures to lend his voice to the Republican cause, standing against fascism and tyranny. Deeply moved by the plight of refugees and the ideals of democracy and social justice, he organized special concerts to raise funds and awareness. His haunting performance of All Man River was transformed into a powerful anthem of resilience and defiance, symbolizing the universal struggle for freedom. In 1938, Robeson traveled to Spain, visiting the front lines to perform for soldiers fighting against Franco's forces. His commitment to the anti-fascist cause placed him directly in harm's way. He became a marked man, and had Hitler succeeded in conquering the UK, Robeson would have been imprisoned or worse. His bravery and solidarity with oppressed peoples around the world reinforced his legacy as an artist who wielded his talents as weapons in the fight for justice. In 1940, Paul Robeson starred in his final British film, The Proud Valley, a powerful story set in the coal mining valleys of Wales. His role as a black American coal miner who finds a home among the Welsh people was a personal and political statement, celebrating unity across racial and national lines. The film was released just as World War II loomed over Europe, intensifying its themes of resilience and collective action. With the outbreak of war, Robeson returned to the United States, but his time in Britain and his bond with the Welsh working class remained a defining chapter of his legacy. Despite his towering achievements and unwavering commitment to justice, Paul Robeson was not without flaws. His personal life was marked by struggles that strained his marriage to his wife Essie. As Robeson's fame grew, so did temptations, and he became entangled in multiple extramarital affairs. His most notable relationship was with British actress Peggy Ashcroft, which deeply hurt Essie. Though she had supported his career from the very beginning, Essie found herself confronting the painful reality of his infidelities. The strain led to periods of separation, and their relationship faced significant challenges. By the mid-1940s, Paul Robeson's political activism had become inseparable from his public life, earning both admiration and fierce government scrutiny. His confrontation with President Harry Truman in 1946 over the Moores Ford lynchings, where 4 African Americans were brutally murdered in Georgia, marked a pivotal moment. Standing before the president, Robeson demanded federal anti-lynching legislation, refusing to accept excuses for inaction. His outspokenness placed him squarely in the crosshairs of an increasingly hostile U.S. government. Robeson's role in the 1942 film Native Land, a piece highlighting workers' struggles and civil rights violations, was deemed communist propaganda by government officials. The film, combined with his growing admiration for socialist ideals, deteriorated his relationship with American authorities. His travels to the Soviet Union and China, where he learned to sing the Chinese national anthem in fluent Mandarin, deepened suspicions. Robeson saw these nations as allies in the global fight against racism and imperialism, praising their efforts toward equality. In 1952, he was awarded the Stalin Peace Prize, a a controversial honor that further fueled accusations of communist allegiance. Despite his repeated denials of being a member of the Communist Party, his outspoken support for socialism led to the revocation of his passport in 1950, effectively silencing his international influence. Robeson endured blacklisting and economic hardship, yet he remained steadfast, using his powerful voice to challenge oppression even as his country sought to silence him. After 8 long years of forced isolation, Paul Robeson's passport was finally restored in 1958, allowing him to once again travel freely. Wasting no time, he embarked on an ambitious international tour, reconnecting with the global audiences that had been denied his voice. His first stop was the UK, where he was met with overwhelming admiration. From there, his journey continued across Europe and concluded in Australia, where he championed causes of labour rights and anti-racism. Despite his return to the world stage, Robeson remained keenly aware that he was still under the watchful eye of the US government, a constant reminder of the price he had paid for his unwavering political stances. While the civil rights movement gained momentum under the leadership of Martin Luther King Jr., Robeson's health and continued government surveillance limited his ability to actively participate in the protests and marches that defined the era. His absence weighed heavily on him, compounding personal struggles that culminated in a tragic suicide attempt while he was in Moscow in 1961. After recovering, he returned to the United States, withdrawing from public life and retiring from activism. Robeson faced further heartache in 1965 when his beloved wife, Essie, passed away. Her death, coupled with his declining health, marked the beginning of his final years. In 1976, after suffering a debilitating stroke, Paul Robeson died at the age of 77. His passing brought an end to a life that had been as complex and extraordinary as the causes he championed, a life of art, activism, triumph, and sacrifice that left an indelible mark on the world. Paul Robeson's life was a tapestry of brilliance, courage, and unwavering commitment to justice. From his remarkable academic and athletic achievements to his groundbreaking performances on stage and screen, he broke barriers at every turn. But his legacy extends far beyond his artistry. He was a fearless advocate for civil rights, labor rights, and the oppressed around the world, often at great personal cost. His voice, both in song and in speech, inspired generations to fight for equality and freedom, and his sacrifices remind us of the heavy burden carried by those who dare to challenge injustice. Though the latter years of his life were marked by personal struggles and isolation, Paul Robeson's enduring impact remains undeniable. He lived a life dedicated to truth, dignity, and solidarity with the marginalized, and his story is a testament to the transformative power of art and activism. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Paul Robeson. If his story moved you or made you think differently about history and justice, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your reflections in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching.